3584, entry 3583, and entry 30.
Your first and seconds within class number 1 will be your champion and reserve champion late spring heifer calves.
Over here on the Shorthorn side, really nice individual to start the class off with as we move into our Shorthorn Plus females. Really elegant up front, long and extended, blends smooth into her shoulder, nice. She wins this class also on length of body, just a really long pattern female. Probably wins it also when she hits the ground. Probably the most cushion at her ankles, gets out and goes, lots of reach off both ends. That's a really nice female. We'll see how she stacks up as we move on through the day. The heifer that's the most like her just in terms of body shape and maternal build is the heifer coming in second. Really soft in her makeup, not quite as extreme in terms of length and extension, but a nice heifer as well. She's fighting the halter a bit and wants to get a bit nervous to kind of set down and just relax as she goes. But I like her in the 2-hole quite well just based on how she follows the class winner. Two heifers coming down at the bottom end of the class, but are nice individuals in their own right. They're just a little harsher in their kind relative to what's above them. Need to soften them in that regard, put a little more flank. The heifer that comes third, certainly more laid back in her shoulder angle than the red and white heifer that finishes the class. A nice pair of females, just keep them coming in terms of feed and softness and maternal build and all those things that'll come later with age. Nice, excuse me, nice set of 4 females to start off our plus show.
Your results from Class 1 late spring heifer calves within the Shorthorn Plus female show. In 4th place, entry 3583 from Julia Lyons. In 3rd place, entry 3582 from Jamie Lyons. In 2nd place, and your reserve champion late spring heifer calf goes to entry 3584 of Bethany Strock. And 1st place, and your champion late spring heifer calf goes to entry 3590 from Carly Goetz. Over to your Shorthorn Plus female show. In the ring at this time is class number 4 of early spring heifer calves from April 10th through April 30th of 2022. We have entries 3597 and 3592. Also want to point out our judge for the Shorthorn show. It is Patrick Wall. He was raised on a diversified grain and livestock operation in north central Illinois. He attended Blackhawk East in 1997 and then transferred to Iowa State for a bachelor's and master's degree in animal science. He competed in livestock judging at both schools, being named to the All-American team in 2001.
Just 2 entries in this class, but they really couldn't be more different in terms of what they offer to the industry. I'm going to go with a little more cow prospect, a little more maternal build, if you will, just in the red heifer. She's quite a bit more laid back at her knee and ankle and shoulder and all the parts that we need to get out and go with some ease and freedom of movement. And actually, when you study these two at the ground, there's just as much base width in the red heifer as there is the white one. And then you study them right behind their shoulder, and there's much spread and dimension and muscle in the red heifer as you see her when you get right on top of them. Now, no question, this white heifer is really opened up when you get in behind her. Big, wide pin, big, stout-boned. What she does really, really well. Obviously, she's probably destined for a little different segment of the industry, and I don't want to hold that against her, just not to this particular judge's kind. Really does some things well in terms of muscle and width and dimension, and that's probably a steer mama in the making, and I'm not going to hold that against her, but a really nice pair of heifers. We'll see how they stack up as we move forward. Congratulations.
Your results from Class 4 in the Shorthorn Plus female show. In second place, entry 3597, RJE Bumpkin from Eisenhower Cattle Company. In first place, entry 3592, TKA Dahlia from Piper Campbell. In the ring at this time will be class number 5. We have 2 entries, entry 3587 and entry 3598. Date of birth March 6th through 18th of 2022.
really challenging pair of females here in this particular class, and I realize there's only 2 of them, and we should probably move on and get on to our next division, but I want to discuss kind of the differences as I see them. We've got some certain differences in performance and maturity out here, which is, I won't separate the pair on that, but we've got some structural issues that I want to address, because the heifer that's on my left, the lady in the blue shirt, when she came in here, I thought she wins easy, and then you ask her to move, and she's just a little restricted off both ends. She doesn't want to get out and just cat and cover her track like she looks like she would when you study her at the stand. I don't know whether she's just tight from being at the show, or the surface out here is getting to her or what, but I really like how that one's put together in terms of build and fleshing ability and make and all of those things. She's in the right kind of package for me. Just want to see her get out and take a little longer, more fluid step off both ends. Big power cow is on my right, the young lady in the lavender shirt, a heifer that just overpowers the other one in terms of width and mass and bone and dimension and all of those things. Where I want to change this one is at the ground. Her feet, I'd like to just make her stronger in terms of her foot. She gets a little shallow in her heel, and then also kind of wants to get up in her pastern as she goes. And then as I study that one up into her skeleton, she's a little forward in her shoulder relative to the heifer that's behind her. It's close in my opinion. I'm certainly not going to argue with you one way or the other. More my type is the young lady on my left. She'll win this class. The young lady in the lavender shirt will be second. Really, really nice pair of females. Congratulations to both of you.
Your results from class number 5 within the Shorthorn Plus female show. In second place, entry 3587, and that is CSF Demi from Hearts and Diamond Cattle Company. And your class winner is entry 3598, and that is Turner's Sarah's Dream from Emma Arnett. Coming into the ring at this time will be your class winners from class 4 and 5 to return for your early spring heifer calf champion selections.
Well, out here for division, you can see the Shorthorn Plus industry, if you will, kind of takes cattle in some multiple directions, and you end up with some that don't necessarily look all alike when we get out here to this particular stage of the game. And to me, it comes down to 2 that are just more my kind, more maternal, more substance, more longevity in terms of how they're built and put together, and softness and all of those things. I'll go out there and show you the 2 that I like in this division. 4 really good individuals as far as what they do. Put your hands together for the exhibitors as we pick our first division winner.
Your champion early spring heifer calf comes from class number 5, that is entry 3598, Turner's Sarah's Dream from Emma Arnett. Within your Shorthorn Plus female show, again, your champion early spring heifer calf is entry 3598, and that is Turner's Sarah Dream from Emma Arnett, and your reserve champion is entry 3592, and that is TKA Dahlia from Piper Campbell. In the ring at this time is class number 8 for your Shorthorns. We have a date of birth range from February 10th through the 23rd of 2022. We have entry 3594 and 3589. Your first and seconds within this class will also become your junior heifer calf champion.
Well, certainly some differences here in this pair as well, and I'm going to keep together the kind that I've been using so far and use the young lady's black female to win this class. Just enough more ladylike in terms of the way she's put together from the ground up, really. She's a little flatter in her bone work, a little smoother jointed, gets out and goes with some freedom of movement. She does want to step down maybe a little harsher on that front end than ideal, and maybe not the most feminine-headed female we've seen thus far today. I'd like to just make her a little more feminine featured up there, but certainly enough more maternal design type of female to go ahead and win. Big powerhouse cow coming in second. From the ground, she's huge-footed, big boned. I'm sure she's destined to be making some steers down the line. I just need to refine her at her shoulder, maybe make her step down with a little more squareness as she goes off that front end, and then to kind of relax her rear pasterns a bit. But what she does really well. Congratulations to those exhibitors on a nice pair of females.
Your results from class number 8 on the Shorthorn show. In second place, and your reserve junior heifer calf champion is entry 3589, and that is Firecracker Pop from Job Night. In first place, and your champion junior heifer calf is entry 3594, and that is Wern Acres Princess from Isabel Forbes. Over to the Shorthorn side. In the ring at this time is class number 12. This is winter heifer calves, calved from November 1st through the 17th of 2021. We have entry 3600 and 3591.
I don't want to start talking until he's ready. If this pair over here doesn't put a smile on your face, you're not trying hard enough today. But really, really good set of Shorthorn Plus females in this class. I'm going to use the red roan to win. Just enough more length and extension and femininity and all of those things that she does really, really well. I guess if I'm going to change her, I want to set her down a little square up front. She wants to toe out ever so slightly, but certainly more correct in the way she hinges off her hind leg and out of her hip than the heifer that's in second. Young man's got a good friend there, and they're making memories out here, so I'm not going to hold that against him. The heifer just needs to be a little more like the class winner in terms of femininity, a little more length of spine, but really, really stout, powerful, big-boned, heavy-featured type of female. Young man's doing a tremendous job of controlling that one. I'm sure they put some hours in at home. Let's put our hands together for these two. Congratulations.
Within your Shorthorn show, your results from class 12. In second place, entry 3591, and that is Eden's MS Jaded Tourist from Jace Blazer. In first place, entry 3600, and that is ACRC's Cindy's Cricket from Addison Campbell. In the ring at this time for the Shorthorns is class 13. We have the lone entry from 3588, date of birth September 3rd of 2021.
We'll keep things rolling over here on the Shorthorn Plus side, but a really, really good individual. I wish there were more out here to push her, but a heifer that is really, really deep-bodied, bold-sprung, opened up, got plenty of muscle, and she does it in a fairly feminine package. She's smooth and flat up front in her shoulder, but stands down on quite a bit of foot and bone. I guess out here, if I'm going to change this one, I want to just loosen her up. I know that the surface here in Denver is tough on them. Just need to get her out and reach her and flex her off both ends with a little more ease and comfort. But outside of that, that's a really nice female. Congratulations to the young lady.
Within your Shorthorn show, in the ring at this time is your senior heifer calf champion selections.
maybe the closest decision I've had thus far today, just in terms of trying to figure out, what totals bring to the front in terms of which heifer does the most things right. And there's subtle differences between these two, and I'll talk them through before I show you my selection. But the young lady's red Brockle female, really long frontage. She's got the advantage in terms of length of front end and really, really striking from the side. I mentioned in class she wants to toe out just ever so slightly up front. The heifer that's behind her does that a little bit better in terms of how she sets down on her front feet. The heifer that's on the red Brockle is certainly a little sounder as she steps down off her rear leg. So structure is kind of negligible between the two. They've got some things we'd both like to change. You've got length of front end on the red heifer. You've got length of body and just substance and width and power. The black heifer is quite a bit more opened up in terms of studying her from her hooks back. It's really close in my opinion. You could do this either way, and I wouldn't argue with you very long. I'm going to use the black female to win. The red Brockle female will be reserved. Congratulations on a nice pair.
Your champion senior heifer calf comes from class 13 in the Shorthorns. That is entry 3588 from Bethany Strock. And your reserve champion comes from class 12. That is entry 3600 from Addison Campbell. Set to enter the ring at this time for your Shorthorn show will be class number 17. This is late spring yearling females. We have a single entry 3599 from JMS Cattle Company. Date of birth May 10th of 2021.
Another single entry over here in our intermediate division, and a heifer that you study at the stand, and there's parts and pieces that you really, really like. She's super big-bodied, really opened up in her center rib cage, and at the stand, she's really attractive up through her neck. I would like to peel a little bit of condition off of this one to make her ideal for my liking, and then hinge her a little bit different as she sets down on those rear two. Really, really opened up, powerful type of female moving forward. It's be interesting to see how many different directions you can mate that one. We'll see how she stacks up moving forward, but congratulations on your division winner.
Your results from Class 17 within the Shorthorn show. Your champion intermediate female goes to entry 3599 from JMS Cattle Company. Set to enter the ring at this time will be class number 20, and we have the entry 3585 from JMS Cattle Company.
Another single entry, but one that I can say a lot of the things on the mic that I said about the last class winner, and in terms of just body build and openness of skeleton, this one's really, really opened up in her center cage. Sets down on a good circumference of bone, maybe a little stouter bone than the one I had previously. Really up-headed, attractive through her front end. Like the last one, would like to peel a little bit of condition out of her chest and lower body cavity. Really like how this one's hinged back there from hooks back and down to the ground. As she's starting to relax out here, she's loosening up a little bit. She's a little tighter in her spine than ideal, but once that one kind of gets out and cats, when she gets more comfortable, she's a little easier as she goes off both ends, but a really nice female. We'll see how she lines up with our previous division winners moving forward.
Your results from Class 20 within the Shorthorn show. In first place, entry 3585 from JMS Cattle Company, which also becomes your champion junior female. And in the ring at this time will be class number 23. We have entry 3581 from Lydia Recker.
Over here on our Shorthorn Plus side, and another single entry, but one that really, really hits you hard when she comes in the ring. The fitters have done a nice job of pulling this one together. The hair's in the right spot, and you watch this one go, and she can really get out and cat for the amount of muscle and just body volume and mass and all of those things that she brings to the table. She carries it really well. Not a lot of holes you can pick in this one. For me, though, at this stage of the game, we get so much body in these cattle to get them showed, but this one's extreme in that regard. She's starting to push a little condition and down to her lower body cavity, but that's to be expected on one this age. Lots to like about that one. Congratulations to the young lady on her class winner.
Within your Shorthorn show, the results from Class 20. In first place, and your champion junior female goes to entry 3585 from JMS Cattle Company. In the ring at this time will be Class 23, and that is your junior yearling females. We have a lone entry 3581 from Lydia Recker. Excuse me, I lost my place. Your champion senior yearling female is Lydia Recker, and in the ring at this time will be your champion selection.
We've got a big moment on both sides of the chain here, so I'll go ahead and get started. I won't take a lot of time with some fancy speech. We've got more divisions to look at, but really, really happy with the lineup out here for your Shorthorn Plus champion female drive. There's two out here, just in my opinion, that surface as the kind that I like to raise, the kind that I like to stand behind at the backdrop. They just do a lot of things right, and they do it in a mobile package I think is going to last for quite a long time. Like I said, no fancy speeches till we get through the purebreds, but really, really honored to be out here on the hill in Denver to sort through your Shorthorn show. I'll go show you the two that I like in this division. Congratulations to all these exhibitors moving forward. But put your hands together as I go select your champion in reserve, Shorthorn Plus.
Within your Shorthorn show, your Grand Champion Shorthorn Plus female comes from your Champion Senior Division, and that is entry 3581, Lydia Recker. Back over to your Shorthorn show. Your reserve Grand Champion Shorthorn female is entry 3590 from Class 1, and that is your Champion Late Spring Heifer Calf, Carly Getz. Within your Shorthorn show at this time, we are bringing in class number 1 of late spring bull calves. These are purebred bulls. We have the lone entry 3528 from Jennifer Ruby. This is the only bull within the division, so this will be your champion late spring bull calf.
A good single entry to start off our purebred bull show, and one that's really striking as he comes in the ring. He's super long-fronted, really long-necked. Maybe would even expect him to be longer bodied thereafter, but he's certainly got enough length throughout. I guess if I'm going to change this one, we'll see how he stacks up moving forward. But just need to relax him in his front pastern just a bit, make him a little freer and easier off both ends with a little more flexibility. But the bull's got muscle, the bull's got top shape. Congratulations on your class winner.
Your champion late spring purebred bull for the Shorthorn show is entry 3528, Care Iceman from Jennifer Ruby. In the ring at this time will be class number 4 of early spring bull calves. We have 3 entries, 3518, 3519, and 3516. Your first and seconds within this class will become your champion and reserve champion early spring bull calves. We have a date of birth range of March 8th through March 25th. Once again, today's judge for the Shorthorn show is Patrick Wall. He was raised on a diversified grain and livestock operation in north central Illinois. Him and his wife Amanda married back in 2004 and started Paw Livestock, a Hereford seed stock operation in Pleasantville, Iowa. They added true progeny Addison and Brody, who represent the 5th generation of Hereford breeders on the farm. Patrick has served as the Director of Genetic Improvement for the American Shorthorn Association from 2009 to 2013. He currently serves as the Beef Specialist for Iowa State University's Extension, as well as the Executive Director of the Ultrasound Guidelines Council, overseeing the carcass ultrasound industry for all beef breed associations within the United States.
Some vast differences here in this pair of bulls as we move into some of the older calf divisions. Obviously, I'm going to stick with the power and performance of the solid red bull to win this class. He just doesn't win on performance alone. He's certainly good at the ground. He's good in his angles. He gets out and goes. Yeah, hard to read him on the move. He's fighting the halter a little bit, but certainly a lot more stronger jawed individual than what we've got coming out in second. The roan bull is really long spined, really extended in that regard. I just need to change him in terms of his softness of rib cage and just put some more sheer performance in him. He's a little stiltier as he comes to the ground, but a bull that's, again, really extended, really attractive. Just need to soften him and make him more maternal, if you will, in his design.
Your results from class number 4 of early spring bull calves within the Shorthorn Purebred Show. In second place and your early spring bull calf reserve champion goes to entry 3518, and that is Eisenhower Cattle. And your champion early spring bull calf is entry 3519, and that is Jungle's Shorthorn Farm. In the ring at this time should be class number 7. We have entry 3526 and entry 3522. Date of birth range of February 25th through the 27th of 2022.
Nice pair of bulls here, and I'm going to opt to use actually the Cavaney's individual out here on paper. The Red Bull's quite a bit better in that regards in terms of Cavaney's direct in birth weight. You study the bull individually. He's good and smooth and tight at the point of his shoulder. He still opens up at the apex of his shoulder because he's got some muscle and just curvature to his rib cage from there back. A really, really nice individual to go ahead and start with. There's some pieces and parts of the second bull that are a lot like him, and just in terms of the way he's designed in through his shoulder and off his hip and hind leg, he's certainly sound enough in that regard. Just gets second in terms of body dimension and softness and sheer performance out here, but a nice bull to go ahead and be second today. Congratulations to both of those exhibitors.
Your results from class number 7 within the Shorthorn show. In second place, entry 3522 from Eisenhower Cattle Company. And your class winner is entry 3526, and that is entry 3526 of Peakview Ranch. They become your champion and reserve champion junior bull calves. In the ring at this time is class number 10. This is winter bull calves. We have a lone entry 3520 with the date of birth December 2nd of 2021 from Peakview Ranch.
Again, another single entry, and what this bull does well is just from the ground up, really, really big boned, really stout footed, but he stands down on a good angle in terms of his pastern and how he's shaped into his ankle. The bull, when you ask him to move, though, is a little more restricted. He wants to miss his step by a few inches, and we'd like to just loosen him. But you get in behind him, and he's certainly got enough product, and that's why he's moving a little more restricted. He's got muscle. I'd like to refine this bull up through his head just ever so slightly relative to some of the bulls we've seen out here so far. But a nice calf. We'll see how he lines up moving forward with the rest of them we've had out here, but congratulations to this exhibitor.
Your results from class 10 in first place, entry 3520 from Peakview Ranch. Coming into the ring at this time will be class number 11. We have the single entry 3531 from Ghana Farms LLC.
single entry bull here in this division as well, and one that as far as what he brings to the table, he's extreme in that regard. A big bone, big stout, big hip bull as you get in behind him. Good in his scrotal development, good in his sheath angle. You really like him from the side. My issue for him, I guess, is when you put him in motion. He wants to race off his front end. He's a little forward in his shoulder. I just like to lay him back a little bit and then kind of loosen him off his hock. He wants to get a little bit bow-legged, but that's getting pretty nitpicky on a nice bull. Congratulations on your class winner. We'll see how he moves forward up against the other entries we've seen thus far today, but congratulations.
Your results from your Shorthorn Purebred Bull Show in class number 11, entry 3531 is your class winner from Ghana Farms. At this time, we will bring back our first place winners from class 10 and 11 to select your champion and reserve champion senior bull calves.
Well, over here on our Shorthorn side, apologize for taking a little more time, but I really do think these bulls are that close. I'm not going to argue with anybody on if they do them the opposite way of I'm going to do them here, but I'll just kind of show you what I see and actually what I felt. The bull on my right, the spotted bull, if you will, a little more length of spine, length of front end. He's a little more extended in his overall make. When he gets all said and done, will he be a bigger bull? I'm not smart enough to tell you that, but I do like his extension. Both these bulls are a little out on their rear toes when you study them as they go away from you. They put a little more pressure outside there. I'm not going to call them bow-legged, but just need to set down with a little more security off their rear legs. So I kind of have to throw that out of the equation a bit. And then you study these bulls on paper. The bull with a little more spread is the spotted bull. He's a little more acceptable in that regard. You look at these bulls kind of in close, and in terms of spread and dimension of top, it's a lot closer on top of these bulls than you'd think from the stands maybe. The bull that's on my right, the spotted bull, is certainly leaner than the bull that's behind him. I'm just going to opt with a little more genetic ability, a little more length of body. The young man in the red shirt will win this division. Reserve will be the bull behind him. Two really, really good individuals as far as what they do well. Congratulations to the exhibitors.
Within your purebred Shorthorn show, your senior bull calf champion is entry 3520 from class number 10, and that is Peakview Final Plan from Peakview Ranch. Your reserve champion senior bull calf is entry 3531, and that is T.S. Grayson 1911 from Ghana Farms. In the ring at this time is class number 15. This is late spring yearling bulls. We have the lone entry from 3524 of Emily Check.
Another single entry, and a bull that when he gets finally stopped and relaxed a bit, you can like a lot of things about him. Just his body shape, his softness of skeleton. He's really maternal in that regard, just in the way he's put together. I want to change this bull on the move. He's just pretty tight in his spine, and I'm not sure if part of it's just he's nervous out here, not unsure of the surface, but he wants to get up in his top just a bit. I need to relax him in that regard, but nice bull. We'll see how he lines up moving forward, but congratulations on your class winner.
Your results from class 15 within the purebred Shorthorn Bull Show. First place goes to 3524, and that also becomes your intermediate champion bull, and that is Knowles Wood Heart on Fire from Emily Ketch. In the ring at this time is class number 18. This is early spring yearling bulls. We have the single entry 3525 with a date of birth of March 17th of 2021 from Kendall Nelson and Ryan Wernicke.
Just a single entry out here as well, and sound like a broken record starting those classes, but wish we had more bulls to go deeper in these classes. But the individuals we got are respectable in terms of what they do well, what they bring to the table, and this bull's got some pieces and parts that you really, really like. First thing I notice is just his body shape and design. He's really soft, really deep-ribbed, really bold, and certainly in the right degree of condition in terms of my opinion on how fat this bull should be to get him through the ring, but still not make him overly fat in terms of how he's put together to go out and turn and breed cows and do what he's supposed to do. The second thing you notice is just how long-fronted and up-headed and attractive and stylish this bull is. He's good in his lines. You ask him to go, and he's a little more forward in his shoulder than ideal. He's a little short in his step off both ends, but that's getting really nitpicky on a nice bull. You even study him on paper. He's really balanced and got some performance there, too. We'll see how this one looks in the Grand Drive, but a nice bull. Congratulations.
Your results from Class 18 within the Shorthorn show. In first place, entry 3525 NF Turning Point from Kendall Nelson and Ryan Wernicke. Coming up in the ring is class number 19, Junior Yearling Bulls. We have entry 3527, date of birth January 6th of 2021, from Jungle's Shorthorn Farms.
Another single entry in a bull that, when you study him on paper, is almost identical to the one we had in the previous class, but in terms of build and design, he's quite different. This bull is a little softer in his overall make. He's a little forward in his chest, but that's getting really nitpicky. The bull's got in the right condition in terms of getting a show bull through the ring. He's good in his lines, really an extended type of a bull as he gets out and goes from both ends. He's got a long, nice, fluid step. I guess if I'm going to change this bull relative to some of the others we've seen, I need to just make him a shade more attractive up there through his neck and chest. And that's not saying this is a plain or a bad fronted bull. We've just had some others that are really, really out there in terms of how they're put together through their front end design. We'll see this one in the Grand Drive, but again, a nice bull. Congratulations to the exhibitor.
Your results from Class 19. In first place, entry 3527, and that is GCFJW 101J from Jungle's Shorthorn Farm. Coming into the ring at this time is your class winners returning for your champion junior bull selection.
So a really, really close pair, and the reason it's so close is because these bulls are so different. So where you lay your priorities, you're going to be on a different bull, and the set of cows that you're going to put these out on are probably different as well. I'll describe to you the subtle differences I see between the two, and make no bones about it. If you like the other one, I'm not going to argue with you, but there's two really, really nice bulls out here. Where they're destined for the industry is not my call. I'll just show you the one that I like better a little bit today. The bull on my right, the spotted bull, if you will, really, really long-fronted. He's got the advantage, maybe the longest fronted bull we've seen all day. He's certainly clean in his condition, and I admire that about him. Relative to the bull that's behind him, I want to lay this bull back in his knee just ever so slightly and then lay him back in his shoulder and correct the angle to his front end. He moves pretty good for the amount of muscle he's carrying. He's certainly the more expressively muscled bull from behind. Big, wide-pinned, wide-hipped bull. There is also a subtle difference out here in terms of testicular development. The bull on my left, quite a bit larger nutted bull than the bull on my right. And that has to enter into my equation. We got to go out there and make these things cover as many cows as we can. Like I said, the bull on the left, shade more correct in how he's designed up front. There's subtle structural differences I want to change on both of them. I'm going to go ahead and use the bull on my left, the green shirt, to win. Reserve will be your blue shirt here on the right. Really, really nice bulls. Congratulations on a good pair.
Your champion junior purebred Shorthorn bull comes from class 19. That is entry 3527 from Jungle's Shorthorn Farm. Your reserve champion junior bull comes from class 18. That is entry 3525 from Kendall Nelson and Ryan Wernicke. Within your Shorthorn Bull Show at this time, we will bring back all of our division winners to select your Grand and Reserve champion Shorthorn Bulls.
Well, my blood pressure's elevated a bit. This gets really exciting, and just given the opportunity to come here on the hill in Denver and sort through the Shorthorn show. If I did the math correctly, it's been 10 years since I've been on this side of the fence, if you will, when I worked for the association, and certainly an honor and a privilege. And I know some judges talk about bucket lists, and I don't have one, but this is certainly one that if I got asked to judge, I wasn't going to say no. Really, really admire the breed, admire what they do. Admire the people in it, probably most of all. They've certainly opened their homes to me over the last several years and really made some lifelong friends, which makes this really, really difficult out here. I knew I was going to have to beat some folks that I've known for a long, long time, but I also get to slap the champion in reserve for the same type of people. So out here, I guess I'm not going to go through and discuss each bull individually. I've got a type and a kind I'm kind of after. For me, it just comes down to which bulls offer the most utility. Which ones would I come out and select to go out and cover cows if I owned a set of Shorthorns and offer the most good to what they can bring to the next generation. Again, thanks for having me. We got some purebred heifers to go through, but really, really admire what this breed has done. I'll go out there and show you the two that I like today, but certainly humbled in that regard. Thanks for having me.
Your grand champion Shorthorn bull is also your junior champion bull, and that is entry 3527 from Jungle's Shorthorn fam. Rolling into consideration for reserve will be your reserve champion junior bull. That is entry 3525.
Well, out here, I guess for your reserve, I feel the need to explain myself a little bit because the two bulls we're going to end up with maybe don't do the exact same things well. They're different segments of the industry they're destined for, and that's fine. I'm here to pick the two best ones in my opinion. It comes down to me between the bull out of the second division and the big bull that's reserved behind our champion. They're different. They both need to be laid back in their shoulder just ever so slightly. They need to be relaxed in their knee. But they're, in terms of body build and dimension and softness and all the things that I've talked about all day, I think they're the next best two in terms of balance and symmetry and all those important things that make a bull what they should be for a long, long time. I'll go out there and show you the one that I like best today, but congratulations to all these exhibitors. It's been a blast.
Your reserve grand champion Shorthorn bull also comes from your junior champion bull selection of entry 3525, and that is Turning Point from Kendall Nelson and Ryan Wernicke.
Really a nice trio of females as we start our purebred female show, and one that starts the class. I guess the longer she's out here, the further she separates herself from the two that's in here with her. Just enough softer in her design, just quite a bit more maternal. Sure, she's got some shoulder to her as you study her from the front side, but man, she's got a big caboose when she goes away from you to go right along with it. She's big centered, soft in her design, as I mentioned, and that's where she beats the two that are behind her. She's just quite a bit more maternal, and in terms of the way she's able to convert feed to red meat and muscle and condition going on down the road as a female. The second two get fairly close, just in terms of performance. The young man in second got a longer spine, really a notch bigger outlined individual. He's just got quite a bit more body today. Now, I'm not going to say that there might be a day when the heifer that's in third can beat both of them that's in front of her. Just too much projecting to do right now. She's a little green. She's a little harsher in her hair, which makes her harder to look at as well. But in terms of muscle, there's nothing wrong with that one either. I do need to soften these heifers in their jaw. They're just a little short-jawed, a little shallow in that regard. Make them a little more maternal and feminine in their head and neck design. But a really nice trio of females to start off our day. Congratulations.
Your results from class number 1 of late spring heifer calves within your purebred female show on the Shorthorn show. In third place, entry 3546, and that is Jamie Lyons. In second place, and your reserve champion late spring heifer calf is entry 3571, Sloan Reedy. Your class winner and your champion late spring heifer calf is entry 3574 from Emma Helsinger. In the ring at this time for the Shorthorns is class number 4. We have the lone entry of 3556 from Kaiser Dale Will.
Just a single entry here as we move into another division in our purebred female show, and one that at the stop is really, really striking because she's so bold and so big-bodied, really, really big-footed, big stout-boned, and to go along with that, she's really, really good on paper. So commend the individual for getting the genetic part of this piece right. If I'm going to change this one, it's when I go away from her. She wants to just kind of narrow up at the ground and get in at her hock just ever so slightly. Really, really good female. We'll see how she looks going forward against the other competition, but congratulations to the young man on his class winner.
Your results from class number 4. In first place, entry 3556, Kaiser Dale Will with Hallie. Set to enter the ring this time will be class number 5. We have entries 3554, 3535, 3538, 3543, 3544, and 3570. This will be March 3rd through March 26th of 2022. Our judge for the Shorthorn show is Patrick Wall. Once again, he was raised on a diversified grain and livestock operation in north central Illinois. He competed in livestock judging at both schools, and he met his wife at ISU.
Well, folks, these two are really, really close. If you want to flip them, I'm not going to argue with you. The heifer on my left, the white tagged female, just really my kind in terms of softness and center rib cage and the degree of condition she's in. Excuse me. And the set of maturity she's at. I really like a lot of things about her. If I'm going to change her, I'm going to kind of level her up from hooks to pins. She doesn't quite have the pizzazz and power as you get in behind her. She wants to play out just a little bit from hooks back, but that's not a light muscled one at all. The heifer on my right is going to win the class, and the heifer that just really, really hits you hard. At the stop, she's pretty flawless in terms of how she's put together. My issue for her is when you ask her to go, she wants to get a little short in her step. She's a plenty straight in her shoulder for me, but she's certainly mobile enough, and she's a little more secure in how she sets down off her rear leg relative to the heifer that's behind her. Heifer that's behind her wants to get just a notch shallow in her heel and want to get up underneath of herself, but that's a really, really good pair of females that do a lot of things that I like to see a female do. Big, big, burly power cow coming out here in third. There's a segment of the industry that really likes this one, and I'm not going to argue with you one bit. Big bone, really, really opened up from behind. Big, stout power cow. I just need to refine her in her shoulder, just make her a little smoother up there in that regard, make her a little more ladylike in terms of how she's put together. Really nothing wrong with the next three females that come into this class in terms of build and body design and mobility and how they set down, and they're actually maybe better than some of the others that are above them in this class. Just not quite as much width in a few of them, not quite as much power, not quite as much performance. I need to lay the final heifer back on her shoulder just a bit and give her more forerib. All three of these just need to be lengthened out and have a sophomore body design relative to what's above them. But again, really, really useful cattle all the way through. Congratulations on a great class of Shorthorn females. Put your hands together for the exhibitors as the exit.
Within your Shorthorn show, your results from class number 5 of early spring heifer calves. In 5th place, entry 3535, that is Peakview Ranch. In 4th place, entry 3543 of Sarah Allard. In 3rd place, entry 3538 of Ghana Farms. In 2nd place, entry 3544 of J.C. Stutzman. And your class winner, entry 3554 of Colton Greenhorn. In the ring at this time is your championship selection for the early spring heifer calf division.
Three really good representatives for the breed out here, in my opinion, and they're not all identical, and that's not saying they should be. Out here, I guess there's what they bring to the table is really, really good in terms of the young man's white heifer, big bone and stout, but still good on paper and useful in terms of making bulls and things of that nature. The two that are behind him, a little more feminine in their feature, a little flatter in their bone work. I guess I'm not going to waste any time and just separate the two. I'll keep the red heifers together in division, a really, really nice pair. Congratulations to all three of these exhibitors on a nice day.
Your early spring heifer calf champion in the purebred Shorthorn female show comes from class number 5, that is entry 3554 of Colton Greenhorn. Your reserve champion also comes from class number 5, and that is entry 3544 of J.C. Stutzman. Set to enter the ring at this time will be class number 9 of junior heifer calves. We have entry 3576, 3549, 3542 and 3566. We have date of births of January of 2022.
Really interesting kind of a judging contest type of class out here. You've got so many differences, so many things to talk about, and you could really score well on a set of reasons, and you don't even have to have them placed the same way I do. The heifer on paper that just absolutely blows you away is this red female that's going to end up winning the class. Tons of performance there, and then when she enters the ring, it shows up as well. There's just the most of her. She's big-centered, big-bodied, long, all those things put together. She kind of defaults her way to the class winner. Not to say that there's not other things that these heifers do that could beat her. This heifer, the red heifer, excuse me, does get a little outside of herself when she goes. She's a little forward in her shoulder for me, a little shallower, and wants to just kind of get up underneath of herself a bit every now and again. But there's just so much cow there. There's really nothing else out here to get around her. The young man that's been kind of struggling and fighting this one, but really kind of in terms of totals and how she's built, she's my favorite in terms of how her skeleton is laid on her. How she gets out and goes off both ends. She just gets out muscled in this particular class relative to what's in front of her, but she's enough more feminine in her design and enough more ladylike in terms of how she's put together than this heifer here in third. This female just gets kind of upright for me in her shoulder, a little more terminal in her overall design, a little more restricted in her movement, but again, there's some things that this one does really, really well. I just need to change her design and make her a little less terminal, if you will, relative to what else is in here. The young lady that finishes the class, a heifer that's really striking when she gets her set up, a heifer that's long spined, all those things go together, but the heifer just needs more body relative to what's out here. Just need to soften her and get her a little further along in her degree of condition, if you will, a little shallower jawed relative to what's in front of her as well, but a nice quadruplet set of females in that class. Congratulations to those exhibitors.
Your results from Class 9 within the Shorthorn Purebred Female Show. In fourth place, entry 3576 from Brock Ruby and Jennifer Ruby. In third place, entry 3566 from Alexa Turner. In second place, and your reserve champion junior heifer calf is entry 3549, and that is Kaiser Dale Will. In first place, and your champion junior heifer calf is Peak View Ranch with entry 3542. In the ring at this time is class number 12. We have the lone entry 3536 with a date of birth of November 24th of 2021 from Alexa Turner.
Single entry, but a good one. I really love this heifer at the stand. Long spined, extended, really attractive, up-headed. She's good in her condition at this stage and sets down on quite a bit of bone work, but she's good and flat in her joints and gets out and goes with some freedom and ease of movement. If I'm getting nitpicky on this one, I want to loosen her out of her hock ever so slightly. That'll make that one perfect, but we'll see how she stacks up moving forward. But a really nice female. Congratulations to the young exhibitor.
Your results from Class 12 Shorthorn Purebred Females. In first place, entry 3536, Alexa Turner. In the ring at this time is class number 13. This is senior heifer calves. We have the lone entry 3533 with a date of birth of October 10th of 2021 from Logan Burrows.
Another really nice individual, and in terms of where she's destined for in the industry and what maybe she was mated and designed to do, it was an overwhelming success. Really opened up, big-ended, goes to the ground with some authority. You study her on paper, and she's carrying a little more birth than I would say is ideal. I'd like to moderate her in that regard, but then again, that's taken away from where she's going to go in the industry. I like a lot of things about this female, just need to make her a little more maternal in her overall look. Tons of bone, tons of feature. Congratulations to the exhibitor. We'll see how she looks versus what else we've got out here moving forward, but congratulations.
Your results from Class 13 of purebred Shorthorn females. In first place, entry 35-33 from Logan Burrows. At this time, we will bring back our class winners from 12 and 13 to select your champion and reserve champion senior heifer calves.
Two good individuals in this division. I guess I'm going to try and stay as consistent as I possibly can with the type and kind that just suit me a little bit better. I'll stay with the red female to win, the roan heifer be reserved, but congratulations, a nice pair. Just quite different as far as what they bring to the industry. Congratulations.
Your champion senior heifer calf comes from class number 12. That is entry 35-36 from Alexa Turner. Your reserve champion senior heifer calf comes from class 13. That is entry 35-33 from Logan Burrows. Set to enter the ring this time will be class number 17 of late spring yearling females. We have a date of birth range of May 4th through June 14th of 2021. A total of 4 entries from 35-55, 35-57, 35-51, and 35-32. The first and seconds within this class will become your champion and reserve champion intermediate females.
over here on our Shorthorn side, my blood pressure's up because these two are really, really good. They're not exactly the same, so I'll kind of describe to you what I see and maybe where my priorities lie. The white heifer, really, really a big-topped, big-ended type of female that's got tons of center rib. She's uniform in her body depth. The udder coming underneath of her looks to be ideal as well. The young man coming behind it, good udder under that one coming as well too. So nothing to worry about there. The differences are in terms of front end design. The roan heifer a little more comfortable and laid back in her knee and her front shoulder and how she sets down. The white heifer wants to get outside of herself just ever so slightly, wants to roll out of her shoulder, but she's better on her rear too than the heifer that is behind her. She just has more reach today, and the heifer and the roan heifer is just missing her track by ever a little bit. But part of that's because she is so long-bodied, long-fronted. She holds herself together pretty well and stays collected. I just need to see a shade more reach off that rear leg. That's getting really nitpicky on two really, really good ones. It's close for me. I'm going to use the roan one to win, the white one to be reserved, but a nice pair of females. Taking nothing away from this red heifer that's in third because that might be the biggest topped, heaviest muscled heifer out here, and she might be that by some margin. Really, really bold and opened up as she comes out of her shoulder. Her issue becomes when she goes to handle it. She's just a little more restricted off both ends. I need to loosen her in her skeleton to move her up higher, but a really, really good trio. All three do things differently. Just my opinion today, but a really, really nice class to go ahead and sort. Congratulations.
Your results from Class 17 within the late spring yearling females. On the Shorthorn side, in third place, entry 3551, and that is Blue Prairie Farm LLC. In second place, and your reserve intermediate champion female, is entry 3555 of Lacey Warnicki. In first place, and your champion intermediate female goes to 3532 of Colton Greenhorn. In the ring at this time will be Class 20. We have two entries, 3552 from Peakview Ranch and 3575 from Mackenzie Laffery. The first and seconds within Class 20 will be your champion and reserve champion junior females.
Good pair of females as we move into some of our older cattle, and I'm going to leave them as they came in. The young lady that's going to win this class is on my right in the black sweater. Just does so on mobility alone. Really laid back in her knee, good cushion off both ends of her skeleton, big centered, and actually pretty impressive on paper as well. Not maybe as moderate in birth, but certainly has some performance to go along with it. If I'm getting critical on this one, she's starting to deposit some fat down in her udder, and that concerns me a bit. We could lean her up just a shade. The leaner heifer and probably more correct female in terms of composition is the heifer in second. Really striking at the stop. Long spined, long fronted, attractive in her head and neck. I love her head. She's really feminine in that regard. Her issue for me is just when you ask her to go, she's just a little more restricted and stilty off both ends. If I can lengthen her out and relax her as she goes, she moves up and beats the other heifer that's in here. But need to loosen her skeleton, but a really, really nice pair. Congratulations to those two exhibitors.
Your results from Class 20 within your early spring yearling females. In second place, entry 3575. That is Mackenzie Laffery with Augusta Pride. She also becomes your champion, reserve champion junior female. And your champion junior female is entry 3552 from Peakview Ranch, and that is Peakview Goldie. At this time, we will bring in Class 23, the lone entry, 3558 of Jada Wood.
Another single entry, but commend the fitters for bringing this one in about as maxed out as you can get. They really put this one together well in terms of how she's fit and fed and all those things. For me to change this one, I need to change her foot shape. She's a little shallow on her heel and wants to get kind of down on her rear 2 feet especially, but just strengthen her and give her a little stronger heel to make her perfect. But big bodied, tons of product working in her as she goes away from you. But just need to change a few things on this one at the ground, but we'll see how she looks as we get out here in our grand drive. But congratulations, young lady, on your class winner.
Your results from Class 23 of the junior yearling shorthorn females in the purebreds division. Entry 3558 is your class winner from Jada Wood. In the ring at this time is class number 24, which is your senior yearling females. We have the lone entry 3564 from Cooper Laffery.
Well, having showed a few cow-calf pairs with my own family, I know how difficult of a project this can be, so commend the exhibitor for sticking it out and bringing them on the hill here in Denver. And a cow that I really admire just in terms of her moderate size. She's as big as I'd ever want him to be, so I commend him on that regard. That female, is really moderate, but still maintains enough fleshing ability. She's big-bodied, big-centered. And she's projected that onto her calf. As you can see, the young lady that has the calf, a deep forerib, deep-centered type of female. I need to fix the calf off her rear leg and just kind of level her up from hooks back and then strengthen her as she goes to the ground. But a nice project for this pair. Congratulations. You get to run in the Grand Drive here at Denver. Congratulations on your cow-calf champion.
Your results from Class 24 of senior yearling females in first place. Entry 3564, and that is CF Margie from Cooper Laffery. At this time, we will bring back our class winners from 23 and 24 to select your champion and reserve champion senior females.
Real quick over here in division, just 2 entries, and they're different as far as what they bring to the table, but I'm going to stick with the cow-calf pair for your champion and go reserve with the senior yearling. If you study these 2 on paper, there's a decided advantage for this pair. We need to get the sock teffer on the right side of 0 on calving ease maternal, but that's just talking individual columns. We can fix those quite easily, but I really admire this pair for just the cow's general shape and condition, and she's got a decent udder working underneath of her. But congratulations to those 2 exhibitors on your champion reserve.
Your results from the senior championship drive for the females on the Shorthorn purebred side. Your champion goes to entry 3564, and that is CF Margie from Cooper Laffery. Your reserve champion senior female is entry 3558, and that is FC Goose Bow from Jada Wood. In the ring at this time for the Shorthorns will be your division winners returning for your grand champion Shorthorn female selection.
I'll try to be brief in my comments here, but I do want to mention a few things. And I guess, first of all, just thank you. Thank you to all of the families that opened up their homes, opened up their ranches, and allowed me to do my job for the Shorthorn Association for about 5 years. I enjoyed every minute of it, but I wanted to get back on this side of the chain and having a second child. It's just so many weekends on the road, and I made a family decision, and we're happy where we are. But, boy, if I said I didn't miss it, I'd be lying. Really, really enjoyed what I did for the association for the duration of when I did it. Couple quick mentions. This breed has done a lot for me. There's 2 people I want to mention that's been put in my life just based solely on this breed, and that's Dr. Burt Moore and Monty Souls. I was fortunate enough to call them bosses for a while, and 2 gentlemen that I admire a bunch. What they did for me, the opportunities they've presented me, thank you will never be enough. But from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate what the Shorthorn folks did for me. I was going to do this without getting emotional, but it's just impossible. So much admiration from my standpoint. I'll go out there and show you the two females that I like. It took me, I believe, since 2006 to get back on the hill in Denver. I have judged here before in a junior show, but this one here, really an honor. I am truly humbled to be asked back in the ring for a breed that I worked for a number of years. So thank you again. I'll go show you the two that I like today, but put your hands together for a great breed of people, great breed of cattle. I'll show you the one that I like.
Your grand champion female for the Shorthorns is also your champion intermediate female. That is entry 3532, Colton Greenhorn with MFS Knighted Pinky the Roo. Over to your Shorthorn side, your reserve grand champion Shorthorn female is your reserve intermediate champion female, entry 3555, and that is Lacey Wernicke with Wern Acres Beauty. On the Shorthorn show, we appreciate our judge, Patrick Wall, all the way from North Central Illinois, as he has concluded our Shorthorn show. Special thanks to all of our exhibitors and ring help for making the Shorthorn show a possibility.